I'm going to call to order the renewal of the cable franchise public hearing meeting. I don't know if that's the right title, but so I'm going to call it to order. Roll call.
McKnight.
Here.
Myers.
Here.
Roja.
Here.
Vogel.
Here.
Kinder.
Here. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. No. Notice of public hearing.
Your Honor, the public hearing was advertised in the Meadville Tribune on Monday, July 11th and Wednesday, July 13th, 2022.
Okay. And this says presentation by applicant, which would be what I'm, okay. Good evening. This is a public hearing regarding cable franchise renewal for the city of Meadville. The hearing is held pursuant to section 626 of the Federal Cable Act, which sets forth the process of franchise renewal. Our current franchise agreement with Armstrong has expired, and we have begun the process of negotiating a new franchise agreement. The public hearing is an important part of the franchise negotiations in which the city seeks public comment on Armstrong's past performance and our community's future cable-related community needs. The purpose of this public hearing is to hear from citizens regarding the following. The past performance of the cable operator and the city's future cable-related needs. Franchise renewal is the best opportunity for municipalities to assert their rights with respect to their cable operator and to obtain important benefits in return for granting the cable operator the right to use its public rights of way. These benefits include, but are not limited to the following. 1, strong and enforceable customer service standards. 2, a state-of-the-art cable system. 3, protections of the public rights of way. 4, franchise fees for cable operators, use of public rights of way, and improved franchise fee accountability. 5, reporting requirements on the cable operator. 6, legal protections for the city. And 7, better mechanisms to enforce the franchise agreement. These are just some of the potential benefits available through franchise renewal. Citizens may address these items or any other cable-related items that are important to them. We will now open the hearing to citizens' comments. Thank you. Do we have any comment for the public hearing for the Armstrong renewal agreement? Okay. All right. So that was my invitation. And then, so I guess we'll adjourn this, the renewal of cable franchise agreement public hearing now. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Second. Discussion? Roll call.
McKnight.
Aye.
Myers.
Aye.
Roja.
Aye.
Vogel.
Aye.
Kinder.
Aye. That one is done.
10 minutes.
Right. Yeah, we have 10 minutes before the next. Okay. That's that. I'm going to call this meeting to order. Roll call.
McKnight,
Here.
Myers.
Here.
Rojas.
Here.
Vogel.
Here.
Kinder.
Here. And we just did the pledge, so we are going to start with comments on agenda items. So it looks like, I don't think there's any comment on agenda items at this point. Is that correct? Oh, wait, you know what? Yes, these are all agenda items because we've got. Yeah.
Okay.
It's really up to you whether you want to, how you want to handle it. That's not necessarily an agenda item for your action or communication, so you can handle out that however you want.
Okay.
So if they can stay till the end.
Yeah, do you guys, would it be okay to, are you guys all staying till the end of the meeting? Is commenting in the beginning or the end of the meeting best for you guys? Doesn't matter? I just want to get a consensus because you guys are all here. Beginning, all right. Yeah, no, that's fine. It's so, okay, let's start. Bill, if you'd like to go first.
Good evening, Council. How are you? My name is Bill Holman. I wrote a letter to the Council, which I think you all have read, if I'm not mistaken. And it has to do with our increase of rent, going up 30% at least, at Connect 55, Colomar, also Well Tower, who bought 51% of Connect 55 from Colomar, and it's Pine Street Commons. It's a 55-plus community that was built here for the need for more housing for seniors. And we have, there's 128 units, of which 36 are occupied because the other ones haven't been completed yet, and that's been sitting there for at least a couple of years. We feel that we're unjustly, our rent has unjustly been increased due to the fact that we haven't gotten the amenities that we had been promised at the time that we signed our contracts. Our contracts are yearly, and we feel that we've been abused in that respect. We came here as seniors who sold their homes, that lived in their homes for 45, 50 years, raised our families there, here, there, wherever we came from, and this was going to be our final residence. And we were going to be in a community of similar people, in the same situation. We all are on Social Security, and either some or limited other financial, whether it be annuities or retirement, IRAs, whatever. We do have some, but we didn't expect to have it all go in a short period of time. When we started out at a certain, rent, we expected a modest, as we had been informed at the time that we had our initial interview, of 2 to 5% a year, which was palatable. This 30 to 40%, was a little bit outrageous, and something that really got us all up in arms. And we wanted to get together. We've been asking my letter here, plus other letters that you'll receive, plus the letters that we have written to the editor. We have asked for the help of the state senator, Senator Brooks. We've talked to the State Attorney General's office to file a complaint against the company, at least to try to get, get them to the table to help us, negotiate a better settlement, or we'd like to sit down and talk to the corporate people. We've had to talk to them in the past, not on this actual item, but, because this just came up in June. So we haven't had an opportunity, they haven't reached out to us either, to do, to appease us or to give us any explanation of, why it's, being increased, other than saying, well, this is the national average. So, which, this is Meadville, PA, this is not New York City, this is not Pittsburgh, this is not Chicago, this is, the average, Social Security income is around 1,500 to 2,000, for most of us, and then whatever else we get from our IRAs. So it's, a little bit outlandish. Of course, with the inflation on top of that, that makes it very difficult for us. So we feel that we need to have support, and we, would like to ask for your support in this matter. We know they got tax breaks. We've also are meeting with the county commissioners and the previous administration. Mr. Sapp is looking into the actual tax breaks that they were given. What period of time, over what period of time those tax breaks are, in place for, how much they were, and if there was any way we could find out if they could, put pressure on them, or just talk to them. That's what we want. We want to get to a negotiation here, with them, so we can try to get a fair, representation of what our rent really should be, instead of just arbitrarily saying, well, we need 30% increase, because we had money problems. Well, their money problems are not our money problems. They're making it our problem by this 30 to 40% increase, which rents have raised anywhere from $100 to $400 a month. So depending on the size of your apartment, obviously, is the size of your increase. So this is, we feel it's unfair, and we'd like any support we could get. We would appreciate it. And any guidance. We have gotten guidance from, from the mayor and Crawford County United as well, with Joe and Stephanie and Autumn. Thank you for your help, all of you, and that's, I think all I have at this point. Unless there are any questions.
Thank you, Bill.
I do have one. You said your rent is going up by 30 to 40%, but in your lease, when they mentioned an increase, and you said that they said it was going to be smaller than that. Is that's in writing that you have that, or is that?
It was mentioned when we asked what the rent increase would be when we initially signed our contract. It was mentioned it would be a modest increase of 2 to 5%. If it's actually in writing, I can't. I don't know. I can't answer that definitely at this moment. I can look it up for you though. I can get you that, Larry.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Question. Most of us were given, that information, and we could deal with 2 or 5%.
Right.
And that anybody whose lease expired prior to June 1st, say in May, April, March, don't say March per se, was under the initial incentive program where their rent only went up 2%. So somebody who came in February of 2021, in 2022, their rent went from $900 to $918 a month. A person such as myself, who came in May 15th of 2021, my rent was $900 and was increased to $1,230 as of June 1st. And I said, that is unacceptable, I can't do that. I mean, we all could actually pay the rent, but then we'd be depleting any income and savings that we have. It wouldn't be palatable at all. We wouldn't be able to do that. It's just not right. It's abuse. And our feeling is still in working with the mayor's group and the CCUs, that this is prevalent throughout the senior community. So we're not doing it just for ourselves. We're doing it for the whole community. We're just an example of how a private concern landlord can just arbitrarily just go, well, we need the money. It's our bottom line. This is what we need. We don't care about them. They're just, they sold their houses. They've got plenty of money. Well, that's, in their mind, that's what it is. We have grandchildren and children and extended families that also need help. And 30% of our community is, there's 128 units there, of which only 36 are possibly able to be lived in, of which only 33 are lived in at this point. And it's going to be another year and a half to 2 years before they actually complete it. They've started, but we have no idea. We also are working, with Mr. South, trying to find out that tax break that they were given. It was 80% over 5 years and decreasing. What exactly is it, specifically, so we understand, what tax breaks they got, so we could at least take that to the Attorney General and take it and keep working with the county commissioners on that as well. Any other questions?
Thanks, Bill.
Concerns?
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Joanne?
My name's Joanne Dunlap. I moved into Connect 55 in January of this year. In March, I was informed that my rent is going to be going from $11.20, which is what I'm paying now, and it's going to go to $15.55. Now, this is elder abuse as far as I'm concerned. I feel that this company has abused their money and they're expecting us to bail them out. That's not right. We've all worked hard for our money so that we could come to someplace nice like this to spend the rest of our life. I figure my next move is either to the funeral home or the convalescent home. And I figured I'd spend the rest of my life here. I understand that Meadville has given them a tax forgiveness, and I think since they give them the tax forgiveness, they've raised our rent, and I think that's unacceptable. And I just think that we need to have people support us, not just us, but all seniors in Crawford County. We're having a rally on the 13th, and it's just not for Connect 55, it's for all seniors in Crawford County. They're having issues with senior problems. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne.
Joanne, can I ask? Joanne, when and where is the rally?
I'm sorry.
Where is the rally and what time? The rally that you're having?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's March the 13th from
1:30 to 3:30 at Diamond Park.
Yeah, we have flyers that we're going to be handing out. We have already handed some of them out. Some have been posted at different places like the Legion. We're talking about going to the rally or the concert this week and handing them out to people there. And we just want to get it out there so that we get some support.
And you mean August 13th, correct?
August
Yeah, what I say?
March.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's okay, I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, it's,
Okay.
it's next month on the 13th.
Thank you. You're taking after me now.
It's contagious.
I'm gonna go to Naomi.
I'm Naomi Stewart, and you've got most of the details from Bill and Joanne, so I'm going to read the letter that I wrote to the editor, which is more than a personal note. I moved to Calamar. I've been there a year and a half now, and I don't feel that they've done right by us. There are many things that they said or just verbally that we would have, but we don't have, but those things were not put in the lease. So, I'm a senior, 87, having been a widow for 5.5 years. I decided to downsize. I looked into new housing and found an apartment in Meadville. So I got rid of all the things I didn't want to get rid of so I could fit into this new apartment. I thought it was too good to be true, and it was. I was told when my lease comes due, my rent will be raised $400 a month. Plus the rate for a dog, I have a little doggy, it's going to go from $20 to $35 per month. And I don't understand that because I had to pay a fee when I first moved in for the dog. I think it was $200, $300, something like that.
300.
And when I moved here, I expected a small increase a year, but not 400. There are many in the apartment that are in the same boat as I am. We would have to pick up and move again when we thought that moving was over. Yes, we're protesting, and there must be something that can stop such an outrageous increase on seniors. Such a heartache for many here. And there are many others here, mostly widows, but couples also. We don't want to move. And we really don't want to move, but just another example about how they don't care for the people that are renting their places. When I moved in, it was January 8th. For 9 months, there was a semi-trailer thing in front of my door. I could not park my car there. I had to, all winter, come park on the other side of the building and walk around. So finally, after 9 months, they finally took it out. And now, they have it all blocked off again. They said it's a construction area. They get deliveries off and on, which I haven't seen too often yet. But now again, I have to park way around the edge, the other side of the building. And that's a real hardship on me when I have to get groceries and so on. I just don't think it's fair. But they just don't seem to care. So, well, thank you. And thank you for your support.
Thank you, Naomi. Peggy?
Hi, I'm Peggy and I live there also, and I agree with everything they said. So I'm just going to add to it. My husband and I, we moved there last year, April 1st of last year. Our rent is going up $338 on our next lease, and also with the cat fee, because we have 2 cats. So now we're going to be paying $70 on top of that for our cats. Now, also, I'm not going to repeat everything they said, but also back in February, I thought we moved into a safe place. I go to work and at 6:30 in the morning, I went out the door and fell on ice. Hit my head and lost 5 days of work. I never got a I'm sorry or anything from this company, and I just feel they didn't care. They do not care about us. But for anybody to raise a rent that much for seniors is ridiculous, you know, and I don't know what else to add to that, but we did plan on staying there because we have made another family there. But we've already had 5 or 6 people moving out because of the rent. I personally don't want to move out, but I don't want to pay over $1,800 a month. You know, our rent will be $1,830 some dollars, you know, and we can't afford that. And I plan on retiring in March, and there goes my retirement. So I know there's probably not a whole lot we can do, but I do appreciate any help to help us and our extended family there. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Peggy. I know there's one other public comment. It's Carol. Carol, what, are you an agenda item? I couldn't.
I'm Carol.
Oh.
And I don't know if I'm an agenda item.
Sure,
You have an item about welcoming city on the agenda that I saw today. It comes at the end of, well, it's in the middle of new business. And I prefer to hear a discussion before I comment it and you pass a resolution on something, but I really have questions about it. that I want to
Sure,
address.
sure. If it's on the agenda, then,
I think the non-discrimination
Is that the
one, or the non-discrimination resolution, yeah. I think
It's
that's
on new
agenda.
business?
Sure.
It's on the agenda.
sure, then it,
Well, good evening, and I'm Carol. And I saw on the agenda today something that I have not seen, and I haven't heard it in prior meetings, but it's a resolution that I think already probably applies to all of us. It's about non-discrimination across the board. So I think that's probably already law. So I'm not quite sure why you want to make an ordinance for it. But then you mention the words welcoming city, which really means something to me, and I'm really interested in what welcoming city means to city council here.
okay. We normally don't take questions, but,
I know, so that's why.
yeah, no.
But if you're gonna pass a resolution before I can discuss it, I think this is really welcoming city means something to a lot of people.
Absolutely.
And it's something
As
they
it should.
really don't want.
You don't
So-
want a welcoming city.
Well, a welcoming city means very specific things. It means, I came from Chicago, which was first a sanctuary city, then a welcoming city, and then I moved to
I
a
see.
suburb, which was a welcoming city.
I
So
see.
we've had these issues. And the insertion of the words welcoming city does concern me, because I don't know what it leads to.
Okay. And before, I mean, we'll read that resolution, right as we're, okay, an inclusive, fair, and welcoming city, yeah.
Most of this is already in law.
Mhm.
So I don't know why we need to have an extra ordinance over it. But I do notice the words welcoming city, and that can mean something.
And you're thinking it means something like sanctuary city?
Not exactly, but close. It's very similar. And
Okay, do you?
I think this is something, I want to bring it up because I think it's something that if you are going to do an official welcoming city, you do have to just do discussion with the public.
Right, so we will read that ordinance and then we will discuss.
Okay.
So you'll get more of it, like,
Okay.
right?
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Resolution, I'm sorry,
Here.
resolution.
I'm sorry, Carol, I don't know your last name, or I would.
Sure. SCHERF.
Commissioner, could you articulate what, rather than phrase it as a question for council, what your concern would be if that was, whether it's a sanctuary
welcoming city
or a
where I-
welcoming city, just so everyone knows what your position is on it?
Welcoming City is an actual thing. There's a whole organization called Welcoming America. And it's NGOs, a network of NGOs that supports the green lighting of opening up your city to illegal immigrants. And this, if that's what this means, I think there are certain steps that you have to go through legally to become a welcoming city. And I haven't seen it in terms of welcoming city. I haven't seen this discussed with the public.
That wasn't the intent of.
Right.
Okay, well, that was my question, so.
All right. Notice of executive session.
Your Honor, an executive session was held on July 6, 2022 to discuss litigation.
Okay. Approval of minutes, June 15th, 2022, council meeting, motion,
Motion?
Second.
discussion? Roll call?
McKnight,
Aye.
Myers,
Aye, sorry.
Roha,
Aye.
Vogel, Kinder,
Aye. Approval of minutes, July 6th, 2022, council meeting,
Motion? Second?
discussion? Roll call?
McKnight,
Aye.
Myers,
Aye.
Roha,
Aye.
Vogel,
Aye.
Kinder.
Aye. Communications?
Your Honor, council received an email from William Holman regarding the Connect 55 development.
Manager's report?
Thank you.
Oh,
I'm
go
sorry,
ahead.
can we just backtrack? Like,
To the- to the-
can we do the same thing that the county is doing and know what our tax status is with the Connect 55?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thanks, Mayor.
Sorry, manager's report statement from Alan Clark, EMA coordinator.
Thank you, Your Honor. So on behalf of Alan Clark, who is unable to be here, Alan is the EMA coordinator with the Crawford County Office of Public Safety. This is recognizing Fire Chief Patrick Wiley. He has achieved the basic emergency management certification issued by the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency. Chief Wiley had to take several courses to obtain this, and this achievement recognizes Chief Wiley's dedication and commitment to the residents of the city of Meadville and for helping to secure the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania's readiness for disasters and emergencies. I also, this is not on your agenda here, I also wanted to add that today, a press release went out from Senator Brooks' office. This is in regards to the Meadville Area Sewer Authority. They were awarded $16.2 million in grant funding and $3.8 million in a loan for their $20 million sewer upgrade project. So that was announced today.
That is super exciting.
It is. It's fantastic that most of it was in grant form.
Yeah, no, that's the most exciting.
Does that cover the project?
It covers a large portion of the project. They will still take out about $4 million in loan
Right.
funding.
Which, just to be clear, they thought they were gonna have to take out $20 million in it. Right. So it's super
Big
exciting, big smile on my face because, right, like, I think that it was, the right people at the right time, and a lot of times people think that, the flesh and water goes, and that's it, right? Like, but there's a lot that goes into it, and they are really great people down there, and I just am super excited. I got a call today, right, and my brother was like super excited. Like, he was just like so excited and thanked everybody on council and in the city and everywhere in the whole wide world. So he was just really excited. So that makes me very excited. So anyway, sorry. Erie Philharmonic concert in the Diamond Park.
So the last item I have is this Friday, starting actually at 6 p.m. There'll be the Erie Philharmonic in the Diamond. This is open to the public. There'll be lots of food trucks there. Voodoo's bringing their beer trailer down. We had some really great sponsors, Marquette Savings Bank, Schaefer Law Firm, Altair, and a number of other ones, including our own fire and police unions supported this endeavor. So everybody should come out. There's a instrumental petting zoo that starts at 6. So folks can come and test out different instruments and get to know those prior to the concert starting at 7 p.m. Tim will definitely be there.
So it's just one of those cool things.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I call it free fun, right? Like, you go to the park and have Meadville's doing big things, fun things. Okay, council subcommittee reports, housing and economic development. I sit on that one. We are still working behind the scenes, trying to get some things done before our next subcommittee meeting. Larry, do you have anything else?
No.
Okay. Community engagement?
What's on our agenda tonight is a non-discrimination resolution that has come up in response to council's priority in the beginning of the year to establish something like a non-discrimination ordinance. We discussed it several months ago in council meetings, and the kind of conversation was left at a resolution, and that's what's on the agenda for tonight. So I'm excited that that's on the agenda. Also, the Environmental Advisory Council, third and final reading, is on the agenda, which is great as well. And wondering, do we know what subcommittee might meet next week? Is it next week? Is the next
It is. So the intent is to have the housing subcommittee meet for just an update on where things stand at the moment.
Do we need anything?
It's next Wednesday, right?
Yes, we don't need the time. Finance.
Well, we're investigating some ideas on generating capital for ongoing capital needs of the city, and we are desperately looking at revenue streams. It's an ongoing process.
Okay, Gretchen? you have anything?
No, I'm still behind the scenes thing.
Okay.
Yep.
Old business, authorities, boards, and commissions.
Your Honor, we have interviews scheduled for this Friday and for Monday. So hopefully we can get some of these vacancies filled and be able to have a full list of authority, board, and commission members again.
Fantastic. Ordinance, third and final reading, establishing an environmental advisory council. Can I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
McKnight?
Aye.
Myers?
Aye.
Roa?
No.
Vogel? Aye. Kinder?
Aye. Are we actually reading?
You can, just the top paragraph.
An ordinance of the City of Meadville, Crawford County, Pennsylvania, establishing an environmental advisory council to be known as the City of Meadville Environmental Advisory Committee.
Are we moving on? Yes. Can I say something? Yeah, absolutely. Sorry. I think I cleared with Gary that we can, the ordinance doesn't take effect for 21 days, but we can start the process of opening for applications.
You can.
If you want to do that for the EAC. All right. Ordinance third and final reading, amending 911 addressing ordinance.
An ordinance of the City of Meadville, Crawford County, Pennsylvania, amending ordinance number 3797 of 2022 of the Meadville Municipal Code to specifically amend Section 1 of the ordinance to authorize and designate Crawford County to assign property address numbering for city buildings and uses in accordance with standards required by the Crawford County Enhanced 911 Automatic Location Information System for the health and safety of city residents.
All right. Can I have a motion?
Motion?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
McKnight?
Aye.
Myers?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Aye.
Roja?
Aye.
Vogel?
Aye.
Kinder?
Aye. New business resolution supporting the Pennsylvania Commission to the United States Semi-Quincentennial America 2050 PA. Sorry.
A resolution of the Council of the City of Meadville, County of Crawford, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, supporting the Pennsylvania Commission for the United States Semi-Quincentennial America 250 PA. Resolved by the Council of the City of Meadville that whereas the Pennsylvania legislature and the governor created America 250 PA in 2018 to plan, encourage, develop, and coordinate the commemoration of the 250th anniversary of the United States and Pennsylvania's integral role in that event and the role of its people on the nation's past, present, and future. And whereas America 250 PA hopes to engage all Pennsylvanians in all 67 counties and all the municipalities therein through their many signatures and officially recognized programs, projects, and events between now and July 4th, 2026 by inspiring future leaders and celebrating all Pennsylvanians' contributions to the nation over the last 250 years. And whereas by adoption of America 250 PA's 4 pillars of EPIC, we hope to educate, preserve, innovate, and celebrate. Now therefore be it resolved that the City of Meadville endorses the celebration of America's 250th birthday on July 4th, 2026, and will coordinate as they are able with local, regional, and national celebrations commemorating the United States Semi-Quincentennial And it is further resolved that a copy of this resolution be sent to the America 250 PA Commission.
Can I have a motion to support?
Motion?
Second.
Discussion.
So this was brought forth to council by the Historical Society. They are participating in America 250 celebration, and although it takes place in 2026, one of the pieces sought by the PA Commission for the American Semi-Quincentennial is to get as many cities, boroughs, and townships to pass these types of resolutions. So far, the county and West Mead Township have both passed resolutions. Historical Society is asking the city to do the same. This doesn't really commit the city to anything aside from being supportive of this endeavor.
Does anybody have any questions?
I have a question. Can you explain the difference between a semi-quincentennial and a quarter millennium?
Semantics, Jim.
It uses less ink.
That's right.
Quarter millennial is like subtracting rather than a semi-quincentennial, it's, you know,
Yeah,
it's
adding.
so maybe they want to celebrate their own.
So, roll call.
McKnight,
Aye.
Myers,
Aye.
Roja,
Aye.
Vogel, Kinder.
Aye. Discussion resolution adopting non-discrimination resolution to provide for an inclusive, fair, and welcoming city.
A resolution of the Council of the City of Meadville, County of Crawford, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania to provide for an inclusive, fair, and welcoming city. Resolved by the Council of the City of Meadville that whereas the City of Meadville recognizes the importance of embracing the city's diversity, whereas the City of Meadville desires to ensure that all persons within the city have equal access to employment, housing, and public accommodations, whereas it is the purpose of the city to protect and safeguard the right of all persons to be free from all forms of discrimination in regard to employment, housing, and public accommodations, whereas the city affirms federal laws and those of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania that define illegal forms of discrimination. Now therefore, be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Meadville hereby adopts the Statement of Values providing for an inclusive, fair, and welcoming city. People of every sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, race, color, age, physical/mental ability or disability, national origin, religion or beliefs, marital status, familial status, veteran or military status, who seek peace and prosperity are welcomed and encouraged to reside, work, recreate, and worship in the City of Meadville, and discrimination by any individual or organization, whether public or private, based upon any person's actual or perceived sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, race, color, age, physical/mental ability or disability, national origin, religion or beliefs, marital status, familiar status, veteran or military status will not be tolerated in the City of Meadville, and the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of the City of Meadville increase when we regard and treat each other with respect, kindness, and love, and we protect the quality of life within the City of Meadville when we endeavor at every opportunity to gain understanding from our diverse backgrounds, experiences, and individuality, and strength from our values of being inclusive, fair, and welcoming. A guiding value of the city shall be that all residents, workers, and visitors of the City of Meadville shall enjoy the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pursuant to all applicable laws of the United States, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and the ordinances of the City of Meadville, and be free of unlawful discrimination.
That was a motion.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. Can I have a motion to adopt?
Motion?
Second.
Discussion.
So as Councilwoman Vogel alluded to, the priority of council was adopting a document showing support for inclusivity and acceptance for all of those in the Meadville community. This resolution aims to do that and reflect council's dedication, support, and work in attaining that goal of acceptance. So Gary, I don't know if you have anything?
Sure, Council, we had discussed several months ago the different options that a local municipality might choose to take or not take. There are already strong, as noted in public comment, federal and state resources available to victims of discrimination. So council had indicated that you did not want to add another layer of bureaucracy here as far as hearing complaints and things formally and dealing with those, but also recognize that you desire to affirm an inclusive city. So that's what this resolution is designed to do. We may have links on the city website to state resources so that people, make it easier for residents, citizens, employees who are suffering from discrimination or experiencing that they can find those state and federal resources. That's the intent here. There was no other implied intent in using the word welcoming, so to the extent that that causes any concern, that certainly could be changed or deleted. It was not a term of art, it was something that, frankly, when we were drafting it, other municipalities have used that term, and we thought that it sounded good, but there was no other intent as far as inviting anything unlawful, certainly. It's really affirming federal and state law protections for people in the city, was the intention.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, is that like an issue if that's a concept out there? Do we need to look at that, or is it kind of like, no, our intent stand?
I wasn't aware that it was a concept, so I actually appreciate hearing that.
Yeah.
Sometimes we use phrases and we didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
So we certainly, this is on for discussion. We can tailor this more to address any concerns before you pass it at a future meeting if you decide that.
Yeah.
The Pennsylvania Human Relations Act is deemed to be equivalent to, and in fact is more stringent than federal.
Yes.
To the extent that the PHRC investigates complaints for both state and federal violations. And they do that at no cost to municipalities. We have added classes that are not reflected in state or federal, which could theoretically cause us to incur significant costs of investigation, adjudication, and enforcement. And I have a really serious concern with that. There's also some language that could be taken more than one way. For example, I know what I think the intent was, but when you talk about national origin, religion, or beliefs, okay, you think that that's talking to religious beliefs, but there is an equal possibility that you are talking about political beliefs, and in a case like that, you would end up being welcoming toward the United Clans of America, the Aryan Nation, and other hate groups. So I have a significant problem with the wording. I cannot support this resolution as presented.
See, I don't take it that way. I think what they're saying is that, I mean, I'd be one of the last ones to say that I'm going to support, but everybody has a right to speak. That's one of our rights by our government. So, we may not like whatever group it is, but I think what this is saying is that, we are a town that we want to welcome everybody. If someone's coming in and does something that's not in accordance with what's going on, then that will be dealt with. But the big picture I think we're trying to show is that we are a town, we want people to come here, we want people to come and feel comfortable regardless of what their beliefs, their political position is. And if that does create a problem, for example, if the Klan comes in there causing problems or something, then it will be handled. We have a force, they're knowledgeable enough that they're going to handle that. I think this is just saying, hey, this is Meadville, this is what we want our people to expect and to see. I understand what you're saying, but I think you're kind of putting the cart before the horse right now, because if we have that problem, we have Gary that's going to help address it. We have different agencies, different people that are going to address it. I don't get that out of that. Maybe our interpretation is different.
Our interpretations are different, and my point is that if you and I can have two different interpretations, other people can have the same, and now we're spending time on legal resources, staff resources, and expenses for something that really, again, is not a city function. Once again, we're going to be an island. The city of Meadville might have this, surrounding townships don't have it. Other cities in our county don't have it. This is more properly done at a state or federal level. And if you're going to add classes, there's a good reason why some of the classes haven't been added, because the state and federal governments are wrestling with wording and intent, and they want to address all that rather than trying to put something forth in, well, what, we got this Friday night, in a matter of 5 days. The state and federal governments have been working for months, even years, through the courts and otherwise, to include categories. There's now state or federal law on gender identity and sexual orientation. It took time, but it got there. But if we have other categories than what are included specifically in state and federal legislation, we are going to incur expenses, bureaucracy, and just in general, obstacles that we need not do. If you want to have a resolution sticking solely to the federal and state protected classes, that's another issue. But when you start adding, you have a significant problem.
But you have those residents that live here, so what their argument is going to be, well, we're not included in that.
But again, where do you stop?
Yeah, so can I just, discrimination is bad, right? We don't want our residents to be discriminated against. We heard tonight from people who are potentially being discriminated against for their age, right? I don't want to live in a place where people are can't get employment or housing, right? Or are kicked out of a place or are fired from a job, right? Because of who they are along any lines, right? And I think that mincing word, like we're just getting caught up in something that is not at the essence here of what we're actually talking about, which is the fact that we don't want our residents, the people that we represent, to be discriminated against within the city of Meadville. We're taking a stand on that. We are not doing what we prioritize in the beginning of the year, right? This is scaled back, Jim. You're talking about us spending legal resources and staff time on this, but the reason that we're doing a resolution is because to do an ordinance that would have established a body, right, like a zoning hearing board or something that would have heard cases, right, and we recognized, right, it took, I had to step back and recognize, right, that was a lot of resources, right? So I feel like I'm compromising just to have a resolution, but it is a recognition of the fact that our resources are limited. But within that world of limited resources, we can still take a stand for the people that live in Meadville so that they can feel safe in the place that they choose to live, work, and recreate, and so that hopefully more people will do that and will want to stay here or return here.
But
I think that's what we're
do
doing.
we stop with protected classes? Are we going to talk about short people, unattractive people?
Oh my God, Jonathan.
They're legitimate.
Right,
So
I
they're all
hope,
legitimate.
I hope we're talking about short people because.
Sure, let's protect everybody. Let's just
I have
protect
to
short
be an
people. That
expert.
sounds great.
But Gary, first, can I just ask you, could you briefly go over the difference between a resolution and an ordinance? Just briefly, right? Like, we didn't do an ordinance because we don't want to hear cases, right? We can't. We don't have the resources to do that. There is an agency that does that, correct? We are, again, this is a resolution. This is us saying we like you for who you are and we are happy you are here, right? And that's what we're saying, right? We are not adding a law, right? We are not doing anything of that nature, correct? We're not saying we're going to prosecute you.
Correct.
Or for you, right? We're going to lead you in the right direction. So I think that maybe that's where we're having this issue. What is the difference here? What are we not doing? Do you understand what I'm asking? Like,
Speaking to this resolution
Right.
in particular, rather than talk about in general resolutions versus ordinances, generally a resolution is a one-time item, right?
Right.
Whereas an ordinance sets up a law which people follow into the future.
Right.
The intent of the resolution, what I understood when we drafted this, and to the extent that there are words here that we need to change, those words were drafted by us at a general direction, right, of council, right? So we certainly can change any specific words. It is designed to be very inclusive intentionally, so we can tailor that back. If council were to say we only want to include what federal law specifically dictate as far as protected classes, we could do that. Now, there are then case laws, as people are familiar with in our country, that have expanded protected classes. We could add those, or we could take them back. This is your law, right? Not law, this is your resolution.
Right.
It's intended to affirm values that you are saying are important
Right.
to the city, is the intention. It's not to create another layer of bureaucracy. It's not our hope that it does. You're not going to field complaints. You don't have staff to do that. But I hear the concerns being raised, so we certainly can tailor this more. You did just receive this Friday, but you've been discussing it for months. So it was our attempt to accurately depict what your intention was, is what we tried to do, but we can modify it.
So as a resolution, is what Jim's saying a viable concern in terms of like things that aren't in the federal guidelines? Is that, you know what I mean? Like, is
As
there
protected
any
classes.
real, is there any real concern about money and being sued for having a resolution?
I don't know if that conversation's, I don't know if I want to have that conversation right now in that
Okay.
way, right?
Okay.
Because I'd be speculating,
Right.
right? We use the words welcoming city. I wasn't even aware that might have a meaning, right? So I can't tell you that someone might not come to you next week if you were to pass this and say, hey, you affirm the value of non-discrimination related to age, and now you have to take certain steps. They could. The intention here, though, is that the city is not going to take any specific action. So in drafting this, the intent was your recognition that the city does not have resources to be an investigative body. But what you can do is refer people to state agencies, like you mentioned, Jim, that are very good, that do not cost citizens anything. You make a phone call to the PHRC, they have very good investigators that will investigate claims of discrimination. So absolutely, you're correct that those resources are available now, whether or not you pass this. But the intention was just to affirm the values that you said are important to the city.
So how do we draft a document that addresses concerns and does not obligate us to, we don't want to get pulled in to a fight that frankly we shouldn't be having. Because someone sooner or later is going to say, you resolved this, it's public, now you have to back it up. How do we handle that issue? And that's something that we probably need to have discussed at a different time.
Right. We tried to do that, but maybe we need to either add or subtract more language to address it, for sure.
Yeah, I think that the resolution in front of us doesn't read to me like it commits staff resources or city resources, but it commits us, right, as leaders and as representatives in, like, who were elected in this town to, I know we don't want our city resources necessarily to get, wrapped up in a legal battle, and I appreciate that, but I think that we should be advocating for the people in our city, and as leaders, like, that is in a lot of ways what we're elected to do. And so I think that us affirming that's how we see our role, that feels important to me. So I think I want to make a distinction between us obligating ourselves as leaders who are elected in the positions that we're in, that we hold, to fight for the people in our city when they're being discriminated against, versus obligating city resources, right, which is a different thing that I think it feels to me important to say. I will also say that a cursory internet search shows there are lots of different kind of welcoming programs. There's Welcoming America, which looks like maybe the program that you're talking about, Welcoming Cities, is a different kind of network around cultural inclusivity and on kind of different. So it doesn't seem like there's necessarily like one trademarked thing. Just to not complicate things, I guess.
Does anybody
So
have any other
we
questions?
have there's a motion, right? Like we're in the midst of a,
This is your
yeah,
discussion.
this is discussion. So we either table if people want more time, or we vote, right?
So how are we feeling, Gretchen? How are you feeling?
Gosh. It always seems like it's going to be easy. I think that there's enough out here that for clarification, you know. I do kind of feel like we need to sort out some issues because I don't want to have something that's inadvertently offending somebody, you know, just with, or, yeah. It feels like at the next meeting, maybe we can.
Okay, I think, I think we know how you feel, but.
We may need to have some time with our council.
Okay. And you would like some time? How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm fine with that, just,
You want, what I'm asking is, you want time or you want?
actually, I'm ready. I know how I interpret it, so I'm ready, but I would be willing to give time, so make sure that everybody understands and that the terminology is understood by and the same across the board.
I think I already know.
I'm ready. I also think that we're gonna just pick words, right? And we could do that forever. So I'd rather take a stand, especially one that doesn't commit our resources to anything. If we are going to table, could we have a community engagement subcommittee meeting next week where we further refine the resolution, just so that we're not losing time?
Yeah, I think we can do that.
Okay. All right.
Whatever.
Again, I think this is a beautiful thing. I think that adding more is always good, and I want everyone in our town to understand, right, that we want them here exactly how they are, and we are listening to them, and they matter. I do understand that, again, this comes down to words, and words mean things. So I guess I will ask for a motion to table until the next subcommittee meeting.
I also move.
And then, so we'll table this till.
Is there a second to that motion?
Who?
Jim motion, I second.
Okay.
With that being said, so subcommittee meeting next week.
At noon. Wednesday at noon.
Wednesday at
Anyone who
noon.
wants to weigh in.
Okay.
So are you all voting then in favor of that?
Oh, sorry.
Of tabling?
Roll call. Sorry.
McKnight?
Aye.
Myers?
Aye.
Roha?
Aye.
Vogel?
No.
Kinder?
I put aye.
It's tabled.
All right, resolution extending terms of temporary outdoor license agreement, City of Meadville, Meadville Neighborhood Center.
A resolution of the Council of the City of Meadville, County of Crawford, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, extending the term of a certain license agreement between the City of Meadville and Meadville Neighborhood Center. Resolved by the Council of the City of Meadville that whereas on the 15th day of June 2022, a license agreement was executed by and between the City of Meadville and Meadville Neighborhood Center, granting Meadville Neighborhood Center permitted uses of a certain licensed area at the city's Mill Run parking lot on Market Street, Meadville, Pennsylvania, from June 15th, 2022 to July 31st, 2022, and whereas Meadville Neighborhood Center desires and the city agrees to extend the term of said license agreement from July 31st, 2022 to December 31st, 2022. Now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Meadville hereby extends the term of the license agreement dated June 15, 2022 by and between the City of Meadville and Meadville Neighborhood Center from July 31st, 2022 to December 31st, 2022.
Also move.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Discussion.
So this is the third time that council would have seen this agreement. This is an extension of their lease agreement for the Mill Run parking lot to put a portable restroom in the parking lot. We've decided to extend it to the end of December, just so this may not come before council again this year.
But there won't be a porta john in the parking lot until December, right?
It could be.
It could be, but I believe the original end date is October 31st.
Does anybody have any questions? Roll call.
McKnight,
Aye.
Myers,
Aye.
Roa,
Aye.
Vogel,
Aye.
Kinder.
Aye. We don't have any more, we don't have public comment on non-agenda items, council member statements. Who do I normally start with?
She go too.
Oh, Jim.
Nothing tonight.
Okay, good.
I really hope that we can do something for everyone at Connect 55s in some way to show support. Maybe, I don't know, Gary, if you have any advice or anything we can do as a council. It's very concerning, and it does address the issues about age. Also, I really hope that we can come up, soon with this non-discrimination resolution. Gosh, great things have been happening. The Market House is doing really well, and it's summer, stay cool. It's very hot out there, and thank you to everyone for coming tonight.
Larry?
Yeah, thank everyone for coming. I'd like to just round off what she said. I hope we can do something for Connect 55. And I think it says something also that we've got to be very careful with the companies coming into Meadville that are preying. Not only do we have apartment complexes that are being built that are preying on seniors, but we still have scams going on our senior citizens. People coming in saying they're going to do work, taking money. We need to be more diligent on that. And I also like to take time to thank Brenna for what she's done. I don't know if people know it, but she took the time to compose a letter because one of my great concerns is getting new businesses to Meadville. So between her and Mary Ann and whatever other staff worked with them, thank you guys for getting that together. And as soon as I get them, I'm going to start passing them out, going around handing them out, because one of the things I want to do is get businesses here. And I'd like to thank everyone from Connect 55 that came. Again, I hope we can work with you. And thank you for your information on terminology.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'll echo the thanks. Thanks to all of you for being here and coming out. I'm sorry about the position that you're in. I wish you were here under better circumstances, but I'm glad that you're here and sharing what's challenging you. And I hope that other folks feel like they can come and do that too. And I hope that we can show that we will listen, right, and act. I want to remind us, I also want to talk about the zoning ordinance update. I want to thank Zach Norwood from County Planning and Courtney Dodge and Guy McCumber for coming to the last study session of council. I thought it was really helpful to have them here. I think if folks have questions about like the process, right, the zoning ordinance that we're considering that's in front of council right now was passed a year and a half, almost 2 years ago by the Planning Commission. They had just some really, I thought, really important background information for us. So I was appreciative of them for coming for that. And then just wanted to remind us, including myself, that our deadline that we set for notes from council is August 10th, 17th, 10th. 10th. So August 10th, you get our notes to Mary Ann about the zoning ordinance. Let's keep this train moving. I also wanted to give an update on the Whole Homes Repair Act. A couple months ago, we as City Council passed a resolution in support of this act, which would provide $50,000 grants to low to moderate income homeowners and the same amount, $50,000 loans to small landlords for home repairs across Pennsylvania. That has been included in the state budget. It's got to be signed by the governor, but like pending that, right? DCED will get this money and then they will allocate it to county or regional housing agencies. And so I would just maybe hope that we can be proactive and maybe have an agency or the kind of county body designated early so that right when that money does get hopefully get down to DCED's level, we're ready to access some of that and get money here for homeowners and small landlords, local landlords that are making needed repairs to their homes. I think that'll be really exciting. And between that and home ARP funds, right, there's a lot of kind of like one-time money for housing right now. And I would hope that maybe kind of as part of that finding which player can take the lead, that we might be able to convene some folks to figure out like what is the plan here in Meadville, how are we gonna get this money, right, that's coming, might just be this once, and maybe we kind of convene the housing players on behalf of the city. And that's it, the EAC, we established, I kind of said it in a wishy-washy way, but we're gonna open the window for applications to the Environmental Advisory Council, so I hope that folks will apply for that and serve your city. Thanks. I'm done.
Of course, I agree with everything everyone has said. I am going to move a little more towards, so I know I speak people, right? Like, people move me, the people who live here, I am moved by, and what's going on with Connect 55 is heartbreaking, right? Sometimes we forget who lives here, and sometimes we forget that these are people who lived a beautiful life, who are gonna be us at some point, right? They've got babies, they've got sisters and brothers, they are our mothers and grandparents, and Meadville needs to make sure that we're supporting the people who live here, that we are in their lives, we are in the present, and we are helping when we are called to help. And it is obviously, it's obvious, to me at least, that there are people here who need help, right? So we need to show up for them. We need to make sure that we are supporting them, right? And that, we're not forgetting about them. That goes a long way for the same thing with everyone else who's here. We have a diverse group of people who live in Meadville, and we need to accept them. We need to let them know that we want them here exactly how they are and where they are, right? And that we will fight for them also. And I'm here for you guys. We are here for you. We were elected here, and we're here to listen. We're here to support you. We are here to have your back. And so is everyone in this room, right? Everybody that works for the city, we're here for the city, right? And we are here to move it and make it better. So the things that you say to us are not lost on us, and we feel it, and we appreciate you guys staying, right? We appreciate you guys being here, and we will be there for you guys. And to support you. So on that note, I'm going to adjourn this meeting.
Mayor,
Yeah.
public service, it may or may not apply, but I believe they have extended the period for seniors to apply for property tax and rent rebates.
Okay, yeah,
It's not much, but it may be a little bit of help
right.
to some folks.
So on that note, I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion?
Can I have a second?
Second?
Discussion? Roll call.
McKnight,
Aye?
Myers,
Aye.
Roja,
Aye.
Vogel,
Aye.
Kinder.
Aye.
So we're meeting.